The game is ready to go. It is Italy against New Zealand. Earlier on in this group, Paraguay beat Slovakia 2-0. We are expecting goals this afternoon in Nelspruit. Let's rejoin Robbie Savage and Arlo White, who I presume has now been bored to tears of Robbie telling him stories of single-handedly beating Italy.
Couldn't wait to get on air, Mark. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome to, I'm sure it won't end there though, welcome to a gloriously sunny Nelspruit, the gateway to the Kruger National Park. We're an hour's drive from the borders of Mozambique, Swaziland, and to the north, Zimbabwe. And today the reigning world champions Italy take on a side whose qualifying routes included matches against Vanuatu, against Fiji, New Caledonia and Bahrain, but who earned their first ever World Cup points with a dramatic 1-1 draw against Slovakia in Rustenburg last week. The teams: Marcello Lippi has made one change for Italy. Federico Marchetti of Cagliari replaces the injured Buffon in goal. Across the back four, right to left, Gianluca Zambrotta of AC Milan, Fabio Cannavaro, World Cup winning captain, who's just left Juve to join Al Ali in the United Arab Emirates. Alongside him, Chiellini from Juventus and Crescito from Genoa. Across the midfield, right to left, Simon Pepe from Udinese, Daniele De Rossi from Roma, Riccardo Montalivo from Fiorentina, Claudio Marchisio from Juventus. Two up front today for the Italians, Alberto Gilardino of Fiorentina and Vincenzo Iaquinta from Juventus. What about Ricky Herbert and New Zealand? He sends out the same 11 for the All-Whites, who drew with Slovakia in goal. Mark Paston, Winston Reid, the scorer of that 93rd minute equaliser at right back. Ryan Nelson, Ivan Vicelic, Tommy Smith of Ipswich are the rest of the back four. Three in midfield, Leo Bertos, Simon Elliott once of Fulham, Tony Lockhead, and up front Rory Fallon, Shane Smeltz and Chris Killen of Middlesbrough. And we are underway here at the Mbombela Stadium with New Zealand in their all-white strip, kicking from right to left. Italy, the Azzurri, in all blue, of course, kicking from left to right. And for the first time this afternoon, I shall introduce you simply because of the way he's dressed. So dapper, so suave, and for one day only, called Roberto Sarvaggio.
Milan catwalk model sprinting. So, man, to be fair, I do look fantastic there. You've got to admit it yourselves. Looking forward to a game, as I said before to Mark Chapman. You know, New Zealand have got to play high tempo, get about the Italians. You know, simply, Italy are the better team. If you let them play, you know, they will score a few.
Well, here's an early opportunity for New Zealand. It's Rory Fallon who was chasing a long ball there from Winston Reid, the right back. It skips off the surface and goes into the welcoming arms of Marchetti, who gets his first touch. And away come Italy with a long ball forward as well, but Iaquinta won't get on the end of that one. It's Mark Paston, the New Zealand goalkeeper, who has the ball in his hands, a hero for New Zealand in the playoff semi-final against Bahrain. He saved a second half penalty. New Zealand went on to win that second leg by 1-0. Rory Fallon with it after a 0-0 draw in Bahrain, and they qualified for the first time since 1982. Iaquinta down on the right hand side has earned a corner for the Italians, with Tommy Smith, the Ipswich Town left back, conceding it.
Yeah, I've not seen much of Tommy Smith. I'm quite surprised that if I now plays for Ipswich Town. I don't think I played against him last season.
He's one of many Tommy Smiths in English football, isn't he? He's only 20. He started the season in Roy Keane's first team, but went on loan to Brentford later in the season. Corner on the Italian right-hand side. Pepe will take it. The Udinese man, right-footed. He'll look to curl it out. A bit of argy-bargy in the penalty area. Our referee today, Carlos Batres of Guatemala, blows his whistle. Pepe swings it in, good delivery, and there's a chance on the far post for Cannavaro, who's only scored 2 goals for Italy, but away come the All-Whites through Smith again. Rolls the ball down the right-hand side to Leo Bertos. Strong challenge, and it's a free kick to New Zealand, who are good from set pieces, and perhaps today that represents their best chance of scoring against Italy.
Yeah, they're good. I think the quality of this tournament so far from set pieces has been of extremely poor standard. You know, they hit the first man, which is so poor with the players of this technique. But I've got to say, Arlo, the pitch today is the best pitch I've seen all tournaments. I think some look a bit raggedy. This looks absolutely beautiful.
The tall men are in there, including Ryan Nelson, your former teammate at Blackburn Rovers. Here comes a delivery, left-footed, into the area. Fallon's up there, he flicks it on, but Cannavaro, the captain for Italy and World Cup winner, clears right-footed. Ball played back over the top, again looking for Rory Fallon, this time from Tony Lockhead. With the ball through to Marchetti. And Italy can bring the ball forward once again. I must say, you did look like a Roberto this morning at Nelspreet Airport. Not the biggest airport you've ever been to, Robbie, but when you were taking that Louis Vuitton luggage off that tiny carousel, you looked every bit of Roberto.
I think somebody thought it was a film star.
And you didn't exactly put them right, did you? Cannavaro, midfield for Italy. Rolls it to the right-hand side to Pepe. He's got runners. It's Zambrotta bombing away down the right-hand side like days of old. He doesn't get the ball, though. Italy retain possession. Montolivo flicks it over the top. And it's offside in the penalty area against Gilardino of Fiorentina. Free kick to New Zealand.
Yes, interesting to see another Italian manager playing 4-4-2, really. Obviously Capello's been this well documented. Shall he stick with the 4-4-2, formation? Obviously Lippi's doing it the same here. Maybe it's an Italian thing. But 4-4-2 was originally the English way to play, but more foreign teams play the one off the striker, which I think is the way England should go, and that's the way New Zealand have gone today.
Well, there's been a challenge there with Rory Fallon on Zambrotta down below us, and Zambrotta has stayed down clutching his forehead. Fallon, a very physical play. He did lead with his elbow there, Robbie, didn't he?
Yeah, I played against Rory Fallon twice last season. What you try and do with Rory Fallon is he's that big, he's that good in the air. You try and put a man in front of him to screen him from the goal kicks, and that enables him not to have a leap on it there. He's jumping his elbow, and to be fair, he caught me with his elbow a few times last year, but being me, I just got up and got on with it.
Without complaint, obviously. Zambrotta is up on his feet, rubbing his right temple. And having a word with the referee, Senor Batres from Guatemala. No booking for Fallon, perhaps a little fortunate to get away with that one. The Plymouth Argyle striker, he only scored twice in the final 23 games of the championship season, as Plymouth Argyle were relegated to League One. Ball bouncing around in the midfield. Italy have possession. Zambrotta fully recovered down the right-hand side, takes possession, running up the left back, I should say, Tommy Smith. What a day it is for the 20-year-old from Ipswich Town. Zambrotta looking to go to the byline, and Smith does very well. Tackles Zambrotta, the ball pokes away off the Italian's right boot and away for a goal kick.
You could never underestimate the Italians in any competition, but the one thing I think they lack, Arlo, is a Mancini, a Baggio, a Totti, a Del Piero. I can't see one in this team. And if you look at Holland, they've got Van Persie. England, although they're not playing well, they've got a Rooney. Argentina, they've got Messi. So they go all the way. I think you need something a little bit special. I'm not sure the Italians have that.
And perhaps Andrea Pirlo could provide something when he comes back from injury. He's expected to perhaps return for the final group game against Slovakia. The Italians will hope to have 4 points by then, but they've got some defending to do once again from a set piece. Free kick on the left hand side, 10 yards inside the Italian half. Simon Elliott will take it. 36 years old now. Elliott spent 2 years at Fulham a couple of years ago, sandwiched between spells in the Major League Soccer in America with the LA Galaxy. Cross comes in, it's dangerous, flick on, chance of a goal. New Zealand have scored. It is one of the most incredible moments of the World Cup so far. Shane Smeltz of Gold Coast United has prodded the ball past the Italian keeper Federico Marchetti. Incredible scenes at the Umbombela Stadium in Nelspreet. Listen to this. The world champions Italy 0, New Zealand 1.
Listen, I know you have to be impartial on Five Live, but go on New Zealand. Let's have it. It's a great ball in. You said about the free kick delivery. Cannavaro, the best player in the world 2 years ago, has made a right hash of that. Shane Smeltz gets in. Toe pokes in the bottom corner. Great instinctive play from Shane Smeltz, who I've been very impressed with when I watched the Australian football. What a start.
Top scorer in the A-League last season, Shane Smeltz. He will never have had a moment like this, scoring in the World Cup finals against the current world champions. Well, this World Cup is starting to get going, isn't it? Not a great deal going to plan at the moment, and it is thrilling to behold. Smeltz, blonde-haired, spiky-haired, the delight on his face as he poked that ball home. As you say, Robbie, Cannavaro made a right mess of it. It could indeed have been handball against him. It was a flick on by Winston Reid, wasn't it?
To be fair, Arlo, for the listener at home, when you were describing that goal, it looked like your head was going to blow up. It was that red.
I'm slightly fair and red-headed. That's my complexion. I have to live with it every day. 1-0 to New Zealand. Incredible stuff. Cristito on the far side, the left back for Italy. Free kick, he's won one there, and there's a chance for the Italians to send a set piece perhaps into the penalty area. They're not exactly short up front themselves with Iaquinta and Gilardino.
What you don't want to see now from the most dangerous time is when you've scored a goal. You don't want to see him now sit back. They just want to attack them like they've been doing. Don't sit back, New Zealand. Keep playing the way you're playing.
Oh, this is where the experience of a Ryan Nelson organising at the back here for New Zealand. He's barking out instructions, pointing to his fellow defenders. Here comes the delivery, right footed into the area. It goes all the way through, and Paston has punched it clear with 2 Italians bearing down on him. I'm not entirely sure how it got all that way through, but a good delivery from the free kick.
Already this game we've seen the 2 best free kicks of the top in terms of delivery.
Zambrotta, good cross in, Paston collects. It's end-to-end stuff here in Nelspruit. New Zealand lead Italy by 1-0, but the Italians, as you would expect, coming back strong. It was Cannavaro who was trying to flick that free kick on. He missed it, and Paston actually took the safe option there. Instead of catching it, he just punched it clear. Offside given against New Zealand, free kick to Italy.
Do you know what it proves, Arlo? You can be the best team in the world, the worst team in the world.
Oh, there's a great ball to Simon Pepe. Pepe rocking outside of the penalty area. Cuts inside, left-footed drive, and it's blocked out for a corner for the Italians. It was Tommy Smith who blocked it.
Going back to the point, you can be the worst team, the best team. It just proves if the delivery's right, you cannot defend it.
Pepe takes the corner short to Zambrotta. Pepe gets the ball back, the right winger. That's a decent delivery in. Heads go up, bounces in the penalty area. Fallon back defending, hooks it clear, left-footed. Delivery back into the penalty box. And an Italian attacker on the far side was onside, but the ball trickled away, and there's a New Zealand defender who's down. It was Daniel De Rossi who was the intended recipient of that pass. He was just wrong-footed by it, and it's Ryan Nelson, the warrior for the All Whites, who's down on the floor at the moment. I wouldn't imagine he'll stay down for long.
To be fair, he must have been caught on his head because his nickname at Blackburn was Hammer. Remember Harry the Hammer, the West Ham mascot? It was the Hammerhead. Ryan's head's that big, he'd never heard it, but listen, Ryan Nelson is a terrific leader, a terrific player, and listen, now if I was Ryan, I'd get your troops organised, don't let them back into the game, but they've sat back, and that's why they've come back into the game in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they must be shocked themselves that they're a goal up. Yeah. Shane Smeltz took him 10 internationals to score his first goal. That was his 20th in his 37th international. A moment he will never forget. New Zealand lead Italy. If you're just joining us here, it's true by 1-0.
Yeah, I was speaking to Andy Todd, who plays for Perth Glory in the Australian League, and he said, watch out for Shane Smeltz. He's got good movements, he's got an eye for a goal, and he's proved that today against Italy.
Good possession by New Zealand here, just harming the game down a little bit. The experience of Simon Elliott. He rolls it back to Tommy Smith, who in turn lobs it back to the goalkeeper Paston. He clears, and now Elliott's on the ball in the midfield area. Lovely long ball out to the right hand side to Leo Bertos for him to chase. I don't think he's going to keep that in down the right hand side near the corner flag. Indeed he doesn't, but that was a lovely bit of vision by Simon Elliott, who is 36. He played for Fulham for a couple of years. He had a calf injury. It curtailed his Premier League career. He's had a long career being 36, that's obvious, but played for the LA Galaxy, the San Jose Earthquakes. 36 now, so playing a deeper role for this New Zealand team. Playing in their first World Cup final since 1982. They conceded 12 goals in their 3 group defeats, only scoring 2. The 2 came against Scotland in a 5-2 defeat. They lost to the USSR by 3-0, to Brazil by 4-0. And with Australia being in the Oceania qualifying, they've been in their shadow for years, but with Australia moving to the Asian group, suddenly New Zealand are the preeminent team in that area, in that region. And now, if you win that group, you end up playing a team like Bahrain in the playoffs, and you've got a great chance of playing in the World Cup finals, and they are making the most of it. 1-1 against Slovakia in their first game. They lead Italy by 1-0 here. Italy, good possession in the midfield. Montalivo forward to Iaquinta, and there's Zambrotta on the charge down the right hand side. Tommy Smith's trying to get back. He cuts it across the penalty area, but it's just behind all the furthest Italian attackers. And now it's New Zealand, who can bring the ball clear through Winston Davis on the far side. Plays his football in Denmark. New Zealand lose possession though. Cristito now with Pepe, centre circle. Turns to his right hand side. Ball over the top to Iaquinta. Will it skip off the surface? No, it holds up quite well. Iaquinta keeps the ball in by the corner flag. Right hand side for Italy. Yellow boots on Iaquinta. Left footed cross. Headed clear by Ryan Nelson brilliantly. But Pesquito has the ball again. De Rossi of Roma. Montalivo, De Rossi again, rolls it in. Poor play though by the Italians. Rory Fallon, chance of a breakaway here. There are 3 men in it for New Zealand. Ball on the halfway line. Smeltz had made a good run forward there, Robbie, hadn't he?
I just think it proves how far New Zealand have come. We played them 3 years ago in a pre-season friendly for Blackburn, and we beat New Zealand national team 5-0. That was
what side was Ryan Nelson on?
He was injured, so it just proves, I think, how far they've come. You know, for us to beat the national team 5-0, I know it was pre-season, but you know, it just proves how far they've come.
Absolutely, and it's helped with having players like Ryan Nelson come into the side, and that's a foul by Rory Fallon. Extremely physical. He may go in the book here. He's just dragged Cannavaro to the ground. Zambrotta's in the referee's face saying, that's the second one, referee. Cannavaro it is a yellow card for Fallon. Cannavaro clutched his forehead. It wasn't a slap or an elbow, it was just dragged down that time, I thought, Robbie.
Yeah, Zambrotta's got Rory Fallon butt there, but listen, that's good play. If I'm Rory Fallon, I wouldn't upset, I wouldn't batter, I wouldn't buff Cannavaro as much as I can in the 90 minutes. He's going to have to be careful now as he's got the yellow card, but listen, against Cannavaro, you would upset him, and Rory Fallon's done that, as you can see by the goal.
Yep. Cannavaro rolls it to Chiellini, across the back line now. Chris Guito surging forward for the Italians. He's beaten a couple of challenges. He has a man available on his outside. He rolls it to Marchisio, right-footed cross towards the far post. Pepe was the nearest man to it, the smallest of the 3 Italian attackers in the penalty area, alongside Gilardino and Iaquinta. And the ball rolls out of play for a goal kick to New Zealand, who will be utterly over the moon, ecstatic, disbelieving at the fact they lead by a 1-0 after 15 minutes.
The only thing that the worry is they've scored too early. That's the thing. It gives Italy plenty of chance to come back. You know, if I was on the pitch now as an Italian, I'd be saying, listen, we've got plenty of time, keep playing our football, and you know, New Zealand will try and keep this tempo up for 55, 60 minutes, and they will get tired, and that's when Italy have the chance to open up the gaps.
Would you keep a 4-3-3 here, or would you drop it back to 4-4-2?
I wouldn't change.
Keep it as it is.
They're winning the game 1-0, but what you're going to do is sit back, just keep playing your football. You know, if I'm New Zealand, just keep passing and just don't be frightened.
Pass forward by Italy was brilliantly read by Winston Reid, and there's a chance here for another chase for Fallon, who just conceded another free kick a few moments ago. The referee's got his eyes on Rory Fallon, I think, and he's been alerted to his physical approach, I'm sure, by the Italians, namely Zambrotta, who took an elbow in the opening couple of minutes. Long ball forward from Montalivo, and it has to be dealt with by Tommy Smith, a young 20-year-old, and he heads it behind for another corner kick to Italy. This is going to be the pattern of the game, as you would expect, but even more so with Italy a goal behind. Pepe will take it, right-footed on the Italian right. Steps up, swings it out, good header clear, but the ball bouncing around. Here's a chance for Italy, and the shot is over the bar.
It's gone out for a throw-in.
And it didn't even take a deflection, did it?
No. It was Chiellini on the back stick there. The ball dropped him. It's a great, wonderful opportunity, and he smashed it out for a throw-in. That was one of Savage's efforts.
Core of the 6-yard box. Goodness me. It did launch off his foot, and he sunk to his knees in despair, didn't he? He realised that was a left-footed opportunity. Throw in near the corner flag. Italy take possession. Nelson has to clear left-footed, the New Zealand captain, only as far as Chiellini, the number 4, the new Materazzi for the Italians, the hard man of their defence. It was his challenge on Robin van Persie in a World Cup qualifier. In fact, it was a friendly, wasn't it, that put van Persie out for most of the season in the Premier League. Flipped forward from Italy, but it's Nelson who reads it brilliantly. Out to the right-hand side to Bertos, burning away down the right-hand side. Good skill from Bertos. He trusts his pace here, going towards the byline. Chiellini is over and will marshal that out of play. It was borderline obstruction. The defenders get away with that, don't they? Goal kick.
Great play from him. Listen, that's the rule I can't understand. You know, if the ball's run out of play and you're the defender and you're escorting the ball out and you're holding the forward off and you physically restrain him, how can that be a free kick against the New Zealand guy? You know, because what's obstruction in this day and age? I don't know what obstruction is.
And if you slow up as a defender, you're going to have a speedy attacker come into the back of you naturally, aren't you?
Yeah, so the obstruction rule, you never see obstruction given anymore, do you?
No.
For me, that's obstruction.
And by the way, Leo Bertos, who chased that ball down, was playing for Worksop Town in the Conference North just 4 years ago. Crossing to the box. Dangerous this for New Zealand, but cleared once again by Ryan Nelson, and the clearance completed by Winston Davis as far as Cannavaro.
Wouldn't it be brilliant today if New Zealand hung on and won this game game to say you were commentating on this game. Listen, you got to be impartial, and listen, I mean, I am impartial, but what a story that would be.
Absolutely. I've already had the first goal. I'm happy enough with that. I'll take that now. Here comes Fallon again, chasing that ball down. A long ball forward from New Zealand, but Cannavaro is back, heads it back to his goalkeeper and gets possession back for Italy. Cannavaro didn't have his contract renewed by Juventus at the end of last season. He's off to the United Arab Emirates after the World Cup. This will be his final international appearances for the Italians.
I bet he hasn't took a pay cut.
I'm surprised you haven't tapped them up in Dubai.
I tried Beirut, that was
short-lived.
Very short-lived.
Throwing to New Zealand. In fact, no, excuse me, it's a free kick to the Italians on the right-hand side. Pepe seeing a lot of the ball on the right. The Udinese man plays it inside to De Rossi. De Rossi chips it forward. Aimless pass forward though by De Rossi. They're a little rattled here, Italy. Goal kick to New Zealand. 19 minutes gone here in Nels Praet. Almost a full house. The Italians are stunned by the scoreline. Italy 0, New Zealand 1.
Gilardino and La Quinta up front are very similar players. They're both strong. They both like to run the channel. This is where they miss the type of a Baggio, Tossi, Del Pre, just to drop in off in that little hole to get the ball, to get them playing.
Passed him with a long clearance from the goal kick. Cannavaro, it appears, has taken another elbow and has gone to ground in the Italian half, and I think the Italians are going to stop play here and kick the ball out, because it looks like Cannavaro is in some trouble down there, rolling around. Now he's on his knees. It was Chris Killen of Middlesbrough with the challenge. Cannavaro leapt with him. Killen actually didn't get off the ground, did he? And his elbow has just gone into the chest of Cannavaro. Not for the first time in this game so far.
Cannavaro's made a meal of everyone, to be fair. They have been slight contacts, but listen, this is great from the New Zealand forwards, Killen and Fallon, you know, roughing up Cannavaro. And listen, as I said before the game, if you want to win this game, you have to rough up the Italians.
Montolivo gets the ball back from Pepe. Looking for the run of Zambrotta down the right-hand side. He still has the lungs to get down there. Cuts in on his left foot. Defender in front of him. Swings it over left-footed, looking for Jaquinta on the far side. But Jaquinta has been pulled up for a foul in the penalty area on Winston Davis, the defender. The ball was too far for him anyway. It was going out for a New Zealand throw-in on the far side. Instead, it'll be a free kick.
Now, I've seen Zambrotta play for many years, obviously, for Barcelona and teams like that, and what they do, the winger he's playing with cuts inside, and the outlet for the Italians is Zambrotta's run down the outside. He's not as energetic as he used to be, but still, that's the outlet the Italians are looking for.
Another long clearance. Killen challenging with Cannavaro. Killen able to bring it down. He played the ball inside to Smelts, but the New Zealanders lose possession. And it's played long down the left-hand side by Criscito, but out for a New Zealand throw-in. What a story developing here in Nels Praet. We've already seen Switzerland beat Spain by 1-0. Spain, of course, beating Italy in the Euro 2008 quarter-finals en route to winning the championship. And here the defending world champions are trailing the All-Whites by 1-0. Most people in this ground can scarcely believe it. Ball bouncing around in the centre circle. Here come Italy again. Montolivo tussling away with Smelts. Rolls a nice ball forward to Zambrotta. Attacking position. Zambrotta with the shot, and it's just over the corner of the goal. A wonderful effort by Gianluca Zambrotta, 33 years old now, from AC Milan. It was a spearing effort that almost went into the top corner and just evaded Paston's goal.
Wonderful strike, as I said moments ago. Zambrotta's the outlet. You know, there's no real flair player in the Italian team. It's a more industrial, hard-working team, and Zambrotta's the outlet. He's cut inside there and unleashed a great effort just over the bar.
22 minutes gone here in Nels Praet. Here come New Zealand again. Thick on, but Cannavaro is there, the wily 36-year-old. Spectacular back pass that time by De Rossi, an overhead kick. And Marchetti has to go chasing. He'll roll this to Zambrotta. Zambrotta in turn to Cannavaro, his captain. He's seen it all, Fabio Cannavaro. Most recently with Real Madrid. He won 2 titles there in Spain before returning to Juventus. Left-hand side for Italy now with Criscito. No foul given. Challenge on Giardino. And now Smelts can bring the ball away again for New Zealand. Chance of a break. They don't get too many men forward. Rory Fallon is playing an essential striker's role, joined by Killen. But back go the Kiwis all the way back to Paston, who will hoof this ball into the Italy half of play. Fallon with the attempted flick on, and Chiellini has gone to ground again, and he might be in trouble here, Rory Fallon. He's given a free kick. Now if he's given a free kick, does he suspect, oh goodness, does he suspect that it is an elbow? Rory Fallon has already been booked. Chiellini is writhing around on the ground. I thought he'd reached for his pocket there, Robbie, the referee.
What he's done there, the Italian players have rushed over. They are now trying to get Fallon sent off. Now the big thing is now, if I'm the manager of New Zealand, I know in games played previously, the referee would have said to Fallon, you've got one more chance. Listen, and with the Italians, who for me today are play acting, the next time Fallon goes up for a challenge, they will roll about and he will be sent off. So if I was the manager now, I'd seriously consider about taking him off.
OK, Italy 0, New Zealand 1 to take you through to half-time in this incredible afternoon in Nelspruit. Here's Mike Sewell.
Well, given where we are in South Africa, this is the equivalent of a zebra outwitting a leopard. New Zealand leading Italy by 1-0 here. But it's Italy with a free kick inside the New Zealand half. And it's taken short by De Rossi to Chiellini and into the left-hand angle of the penalty area. Shot comes in from Marchisio, lands in the penalty area. Pepe tries to find some space. New Zealand clear their lines.
To be fair, Mike, I'd say a squirrel beating a lion.
I don't know if you get many squirrels in South Africa.
I couldn't think of anything small.
Here's Zambrotta for Italy, deep in the New Zealand half. He gets a return pass from Marchisio, then it's back in. Montalivo then tries to cross, blocked. Marchisio back to Montalivo, chip to the back post, out comes Paston, just makes enough contact to send it away from Yaquinta, and then New Zealand clear for a throw on the far side.
Yeah, listen, for me this is the first time the World Cup's taken off. If you're sitting at home now watching this on the telly, you know, you'll have your glass of water or your beer on a I'll be on Sunday afternoon now, and this will be enthralled by this game. Being here, you just can't tell how much enthusiastic and enjoyable it is. This is the World Cup for me now. We have started the World Cup.
Italy still have possession inside the New Zealand half, and it's played by Chiellini out to the left. Now Marchisio, left-hand angle of the penalty area. Cross comes in to the edge of the 6-yard area. Quinta was trying to tee up a volley towards goal, but it evades him, and it's played up towards the halfway line where Fallon battles with Cannavaro, and it's Fallon who wins the day. New Zealand have it on the left. There's a player down. Chris Killen inside the centre circle. Schmelz, the goal scorer, has it on the left now for New Zealand. Switches it infield, and it's Vincelic. And now into Ryan Nelson, the captain, and forward once more to Elliott. Schmelz infield to Killen, 15 yards inside the Italy half. Killen dwells on the ball. Italy win it back. Montalivo forward towards Chiellini, who's moved into an advanced position, and now it's played by Gilardino into centre midfield where De Rossi's waiting. Montalivo now, long distance strike, which goes in and hits the post and comes back out past Paston, who could not get there. I'm not sure he noticed the ball going past him at that, but Montalivo comes closest to drawing Italy level.
He struck the ball, that must be all of 35 yards, and he's hit it with the outside of his foot. It's bent, hit the inside of the post and come out for the throw into New Zealand. But you know, before that, New Zealand had some good play. They kept the ball well, but as soon as you dally on the ball, the Italians did it, and they break so quickly, and that proves the point.
They're having a lot of possession in this portion of the game, but they are trailing by 1-0. 18 minutes left of the first half. Ball played to the edge of the New Zealand area. Lovely touch by Yaquinta, with De Rossi surging through the centre of the field, but he can't reach the ball. Italy have a throw-in. They're upping the tempo, aren't they?
Just for 5 minutes now, what I'd do is I'd just drop one of the New Zealand forwards back in, play 5, just steady the ship, you know, go against your man for a couple of minutes, you know, don't try and get the better of your opponent.
Ball is on the left, crossed in by Chiellini to the back post, down goes De Rossi. Italy have won a penalty. De Rossi brought down on the edge of the 6-yard area, and referee Batros has given a yellow card to Chris Killen for the foul on De Rossi. In fact, it was Tommy Smith with the infringement, but Italy have a penalty. He was tugging at his shirt, but he went down rather easily.
That's a disgrace. That's shocking. That's not a penalty. He's hardly touched him. You know, New Zealand have been brilliant. The last 5 minutes Italy have come into the game. You know, young Tommy Smith there. De Rossi that's a disgrace for me. That's not a penalty. You know, I've done it a couple of times. I admit, once for Derby against Leicester. Once for Leicester against Derby. And You know, so you do get an advantage, but you know, when you're on the other side of the fence, you're watching that, you know, it's embarrassing really. That for me is not a penalty.
But it is, in fact, because Vincenzo Iaquinta of Juventus is about to take it away to our right. Italy trailing New Zealand by a goal to nil. The man in the yellow boots, standing with his hands on hips in the D, is waiting patiently for the New Zealand players to stand outside the penalty area. One or two of them are trying to put him off. Iaquinta against Paston. The world champions are behind, and this is a bit of gamesmanship from New Zealand. Are they about to draw level? Iaquinta steps forward, right foot low into the corner. Paston was absolutely nowhere. Italy have drawn level, and it's Iaquinta who scored. New Zealand won, Italy won.
Yes, to be fair, the keeper never looked like saving it. He sent it the wrong way, you know. But I think it's a harsh decision for New Zealand. They've started the game so well. What they've got to do now, though, they've got to get the heads up. They've had a great start to the half. Listen, the Italians have been poor. They've got a penalty wrongly in my eyes, but listen, New Zealand doing fantastically well, 1-1.
Well, they are the world champions. They have won the trophy on 4 occasions, and they were under pressure. But they're the kind of team that can respond to that pressure.
Yeah, they're doing it for 5 minutes. They were putting out, as I just said, just for 5 minutes. They used that drop it forward and go 5 midfield, go against your man, but they were coming with increasing pressure. And obviously they've got a penalty by default. Listen, there's slight contact, and De Rossi, being the professional, he's made a meal of it like most professionals do. And to be fair, if I was in the same position, I'd have probably gone down, to be honest. But when you're on this side of the fence, you see it differently, and for me it was embarrassing.
It's got Italy level though, as we move into the final 15 minutes of the first half here in Nelspruit. 5 live from the BBC on a Sunday afternoon, a sunny Sunday afternoon in northeast South Africa. This was the scoreline in the first game for both of these teams. So as it stands, Paraguay are the leaders of this group. Italy and New Zealand have 2 points, and then the other team on 1 point are Slovakia. Corner kick to Italy. It's going to be taken on this near side away to our right by Simone Pepe. He's preparing to take it. Plenty of blue shirts inside the penalty box. Referee Batres makes sure that everything is okay, and then the corner comes in from Pepe, cleared to the back edge of the area. Falls towards Crescito, tries a long distance shot, but it's high and over the crossbar.
Don't get too disheartened now, New Zealand. You know, you've had a great start to the game. You've gone a goal up against the world champions, and it's been a fantastic start for them.
It's going to be a goal kick then to New Zealand, which Mark Paston will take. In all green today, emerald green, almost camouflaged by the surface here in Mbombela Stadium. Cannavaro lets the ball drop. Montolivo plays it back to the right back position where Zambrotta is waiting, and it's now with Pepe. Down the line it goes. The goal scorer Iaquinta chases it, but it's too far ahead of the Juventus striker, and it's out for another goal kick.
You know, when the Italians scored there, what they'd done is they all went together, they all hugged each other in a massive group. Even the subs and everybody, the manager got involved, and you know, you can see the spirit between them is there, and you know, you just like to see that. You know, I keep referring back to England. If England scored, could you imagine the manager going and embrace them? Well, I can't really see it.
Well, New Zealand took the lead through Shane Smeltz after only 7 minutes of this game, capitalising on some poor defending by the Italian captain Fabio Cannavaro. Iaquinta's brought Italy level. They're looking to get a second here, sent in by Crescito, cleared away by Reed and helped by Killen, but they haven't got it far enough away. 12 minutes of the first half to go. Italy level at 1-1 now. Here's a ball out to the right for Zambrotta. It's through too strong a pass from De Rossi. Throw into New Zealand. Robbie Savage.
Yeah, the New Zealand boys are getting overrun now. You can see the Italians have got the goal. They're playing now with confidence and knocking it. The back heels are one touches, you know, but just New Zealand just keep doing what you're doing. Just Rory, Fan and Killen just got to keep being physical against Cannavaro and Chiellini.
The ball has spent a lot of the last few minutes inside the New Zealand half. They have a throw, though, in front of Ricky Herbert's technical area, a man who himself knows what it's like to play in a World Cup, having done so in 1982 against the USSR, Brazil and Scotland. 61 caps, in actual fact, for New Zealand. A former centre-half, Ricky Herbert. Here's Pepe for Italy. To Cannavaro, back towards the left-back position. Crescito has it. And it's now played in by De Rossi, who won the penalty, rather controversially. And now Chiellini, back out wide to Crescito. Just Italy carefully playing the ball across the back. No real urgency about their play now. They're just controlling the game at the moment and forcing New Zealand back as we move towards the final 10 minutes of the first half.
But this World Cup just shows, Mike, that on any given day, anybody can perform against anybody. As long as you work hard, you know, you're well organised. You know, there's such small margins between every team in this World Cup, and you know, I think today is proving so that New Zealand are organised, they have work hard, and it proves even against the best teams in the world, you can get something.
Just to tell you that 6:06 tonight is Colin Murray and Pat Nevin from 6 o'clock. The lines open at 5, 0500 909 693. Prior to that, we have a Wimbledon preview as De Rossi sends in a long-distance effort. Our tennis correspondent, Jonathan Overend, from 5:30 tonight.
To be fair, I'm coming back home on Friday, and that's what I want to do. I want to go to Wimbledon, so if anybody's got any tickets, let me know. I've never been. I'm too fair. I love Wimbledon. It's fantastic. Tennis.
Yeah, this is not an internet site for you to sell, get yourself tickets for events.
Even ex-famous Premiership footballers struggle to get Wimbledon tickets.
Of course, Wimbledon does start tomorrow, lapping over the World Cup. Here, the ball is with Gilardino, and it's now into the chest of the goalscorer Iaquinta, and it's played over to the far side of the field where Marchisio can't keep the ball in play. And we're just being told, now we obviously heard about Nicolas Anelka leaving the French team. Now we've just heard that the French side have refused to train this afternoon because of an on-field dispute. Now what that means I don't know, but apparently the French team have refused to train. Have you known of something like that before, Robbie?
But it means they're not training.
Well, yeah, I know that. Have you ever known of that in your playing career? Players who've said, no, I'm not training for you.
I'll tell you what happened. I've only experienced it once. It was a very good point. Nigel Clough, when we lost to Scunthorpe, listen, this is completely different. Nigel Clough, we lost to Scunthorpe 4-1 early this season. And basically, he come in, we had a meeting, and he said, listen, if you want to be here, you know, if you want to train, I'll see you out in 5 minutes. If you don't want to train, basically, leave the training ground. If you want to train, if you want to be a part of Derby County, I'll see you in that training ground in 5 minutes. And everybody went out and trained. And that's the nearest I've seen to it. But that's remarkable. Listen, you could see why the French team are, you know, obviously, listen, they're not having the coach, are they? Let's be honest. And, you know, that's a remarkable story. To be fair, they may as well go home anyway because they're out.
Well, we knew there were factions within the camp. We knew that Ramon Domenech wasn't a particularly popular coach with some of his players and with the nation of France. But clearly there's a big problem now. We'll have more on that at half-time here on 5 Live. Here's Iaquinta for Italy in the centre circle, coming deep, the goal scorer, to play it out wide to Zambrotta on this near side. New Zealand 1, Italy 1, 8 minutes left of the first half. Zambrotta charging downfield, across comes Elliott to defend, and he clears it up towards the halfway line where Montolivo, who struck the post just after Italy equalised, is waiting. Here's Cannavaro.
When you think about it now, England aren't doing that bad, really, are they? If you're being honest, look at France, they're in turmoil. Listen, I think France are hopeless anyway this World Cup. I've been so disappointed. Team of individuals, and obviously that's showing in, you know, refusing to train. You know, you're a team. Whatever happens, you're a team. You stick together. You know, you can't, there's no I in team. And the French, for me, they're all, you know, if you look at the players they have, you know, great players, but not a team. And you can't win anything on your own. Oh, I beat Italy, man.
Well, that is a clear case of losing the dressing room, Robbie Savage.
Yeah, of course it is. You could see, you know, I watched the game and, you know, if I seen Roman Domenech on the sideline, he would give me no motivation. Listen, that comes from within, though, to be fair. I was saying on 606 last night, but you look at him and he's like a statue. It's just no passion. It has to be in a manager. Martin O'Neill, Nigel Clough, Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce. Passion is there, and for them there was no passion.
And they have to beat South Africa in their final game to stand a chance of reaching the last 16, as referee Batres awards a free kick in favour of Italy for a foul on De Rossi, who was the man, and I say this in inverted commas, brought down for the penalty. Mexican wave makes its way around this Mbombela Stadium, and I have to say it's fairly well represented today. There are a smattering of seats unavailable, not as bad as some stadia during the World Cup finals. The score's 1-1 as we approach half-time here on 5 Live. Free kick to Italy, which will be taken from midway inside their own half. Several light blue shirts around the edge of the box, sent in by Pepe, headed away by Reed. Now it's out to Bertos on the far side of the field for New Zealand. That's gone out for an Italy throw, which is taken quickly by Chiellini.
You have to get to New Zealand have to get to half-time 1-1. You know, they don't want to go down before half-time. The heads will drop. Just get to half-time 1-1.
Long ball forward, which Marchisio can't reach, and in fact there's an infringement on the edge of the penalty area. New Zealand have a free kick. Just to say, tonight's game on 5 Live is an intriguing contest between Ivory Coast and Brazil. Mark Pugac at Soccer City in Johannesburg for that game. And then, of course, the final round of the US Open from Pebble Beach. Ian Carter, our correspondent in the team, from 10 o'clock tonight. Here, though, we approach half-time in Nelspruit with Italy and New Zealand tied at 1-1. Here's Gilardino on the touchline. Can't get the ball past 2 New Zealand players, but he does win a throw-in, and there's some urgency there from the Italy coach, Marcello Lippi, who led his team to the World Cup 4 years ago, but is having a few problems today.
Yeah, they are. But they've got their foot in the game, to be fair to them now. They're passing the ball, you know, they're slowing their build-up, and then they pass, and then they try and do it quick into the front man. But New Zealand defending very, very well, led by, you know, a very good captain, Ryan Nelson.
Ball played into De Rossi, up towards the edge of the New Zealand penalty area. Flicked forward by Iaquinta. Pepe was the wrong side of Ryan Nelson, and out comes Paston to claim the ball, and out comes Ricky Herbert to issue a few instructions, dressed in a smart dark suit. Marcello Lippi opting for the track suit. As a long ball goes down centre field for Middlesbrough's Chris Killen to chase, but it's dealt with quite easily by Chiellini.
Yeah, to be fair, Lippi's got a black and red tracksuit, which is not synonymous at all to Italy. And to be fair, I've never seen an Italian look so untrendy.
Ball is now on the far side of the field with Crescito. And now into the centre circle with 4 minutes to go to half-time. To Montalivo, up to Iaquinta. Now it's Zambrotta on the right. Played back into Montalivo. Zambrotta going for the return. Cross comes Tommy Smith, who can't deal with that very well. Zambrotta keeps it in near the corner flag. Marchisio, good cross to the back post. Header from Pepe goes up into the air. And in any case, referee Batres has awarded a free kick to New Zealand.
John, I just want to make a point in the refereeing so far in this tournament. I think it started well. But for me, you cannot not have Guatemalan referees reffing in the biggest stage in the world. You know, these Guatemalan referees, what will they ref? You know, I'm going to go back to the Norwegian ref when Chelsea played in the semi-final. You know, that guy will referee a poor league. So, you know, the decision from the Americans, the goal disallowed, that referee has not refereed. He's a referee in Mali. He's not he's not used to refereeing big games, and I think the refs who don't referee in the top leagues get found out, and for me that is not a penalty by, listen, name me a club in Guatemala. Do you know what I mean? I think well, that's what I mean. So what's his biggest game? Yeah, he might travel around and do a few UEFA Cup games, but I think it gets shown up. The referees who don't referee in the top leagues get shown up on the biggest stage.
Well, he's given a penalty which has hauled Italy level. They have been in control since that point, but they haven't been able to get ahead of New Zealand as we move into the final few minutes of the first half. Here's Winston Reid, who scored New Zealand's late equaliser in the game against Slovakia. He goes down under a challenge from Pepe. Referee ignores that, and Italy get a throw-in midway inside their own half, which is taken quickly into their World Cup winning captain Fabio Cannavaro. Montalivo for Italy. Now out to Marchisio. Switch flanks for the time being. Started out on the left. He's now on the right. Pepe's moved out to the far side of the field. The Italy left. And he's waiting for the ball now as Crescito has it, the left back. He opts to go infield. Iaquinta with the first touch. Too much purchase on the ball. It's out for a goal kick to New Zealand.
Yes, listen, half come to a close. It's been an enjoyable first half. We've had some breaking news. We've got giraffes in the stadium. We've got zebra seats. We've got bright blue sky, 26 degrees. I look fantastic. It's been a wonderful first half. The World Cup started.
Okay, in that case, if you look like a Milan catwalk model, how would you describe Mr. White and Mr. Sewell today? Be fair.
I'll have a think.
Okay. More on that news from the French camp at half-time on 5 Live. News that they have refused to train this afternoon. We'll have more on that shortly. By the way, one of our drivers who picked us up at the airport the other day in Polokwane had a great quote. He said, when I said the word, we're talking about hunting in South Africa, and when we said the word zebra, he said it's just a donkey in pyjamas. Which I thought was a great quote.
Sorry, wake me up.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Here's Zambrotta for Italy. I've got to spend 6 days with Robbie Savage. Can you believe that? I'm going to put that on eBay. Here's a shot from Zambrotta, sent out wide. I'm a commentator, get me out of here, might be the quote I'll be talking about later in the week. Here's Zambrotta with the throw. Just motioning to one or two of his players as he leans back and then launches a long throw into the edge of the 6-yard area, headed away by New Zealand. We're into the last few seconds of the 45. De Rossi's long distance shot. Paston pats it down. Reid is there, puts it out for a corner.
Good defending, great save from the keeper. Defenders quick to react and kicked it away from the danger.
Late on in the half, corner for Italy. Pepe to the near post, and for a split second I thought Ryan Nelson was going to head that into the near post.
Great defending again from the big captain. Got in front of De Rossi, headed out for another corner.
Sent in again by Pepe, punched into the air by Paston. It hangs right near the penalty spot. Referee Batres feels that there was a foul. It's a free kick to New Zealand. And we are into the first minute of only one of added time.
Well done, the goalkeeper. Your team under pressure. 2 consecutive corners, come out, he's punched one, then caught one. Fantastic goalkeeping. That's what you want when you're under pressure just before half time, is your keeper to command his area, and he's done that brilliantly.
Mark Paston, who is not the first choice New Zealand goalkeeper. Glenn Moss is the first choice, but he picked up a suspension which has ruled him out of both this game and the previous one against Slovakia. He might well be back for the final game against Paraguay. Referee Batres has blown his whistle to end the first half here in Nelspruit. Italy went behind after just 7 minutes. Cannavaro slipping up at the back, allowing Shane Smeltz to put New Zealand in front. But then 22 minutes later, De Rossi went down in the 6-yard area. Batres awarded a controversial penalty, which was converted very easily by Vincenzo Iaquinta, which means at half-time, Robbie Savage, it's New Zealand 1, Italy 1.
Very entertaining first half. New Zealand deservedly going in front, and then cheated. The Italian, from my eyes, cheated a penalty. But listen, everybody does it. We've seen Henry do it. I've done it. So, he's won a penalty there rather than being brought down. But listen, that's the nature of the game these days. I'm not going to say it's wrong, I'm not going to say it's right, but every professional player does it. De Rossi done it, Quinta scored the penalty. But listen, it's been a great first half, very, very enjoyable.
2 changes at half time for Marcello Lippi. He's brought on Marco Camoranesi, the Juventus player, for Pepe, who was playing on the right-hand side in that first half, and Antonio Di Natale of Udinese has come on for Gilardino, who scored 29 goals in 38 Serie A appearances for Udinese last season. So very much a man in form. Italy get us underway in this second half. In all blue, the Azzurri, of course, kicking from right to left as we look down on things from our commentary vantage point against New Zealand in the all-white kit. Italy, by the way, are wearing black armbands today because former defender Roberto Rosato has passed away, sadly. He was part of the team that won the 1968 European Championships. For the first time in the second half, here's Robbie Savage.
Yeah, thoroughly entertaining first half. New Zealand did exceptionally well. Sat back a little bit when they got the goal, enticed Italy onto them. You know, they got punished by, for me, it wasn't a penalty. Well, it was because it was given, but I think he won the penalty rather than got fouled for it, and it was an interesting first half.
Chris Killen, good skill on the right-hand side for New Zealand. Needs support, though. He's beaten another man as well, De Rossi. And eventually he was bundled over, but it's a throw-in to New Zealand on the right-hand side. Simon Elliott, 36 years old, without a club at the moment. He leaves it for Leo Bertos, who I told you, remember, in the first half, was playing for Worksop Town in the Conference North just 4 years ago. It was his corner that led to Rory Fallon's winner in the second leg against Bahrain, which booked the All-Whites place in the 2010 World Cup finals. Long ball over the top, that time by Winston Davis, evades Smelts on the far side of the ground. So it's a throw into Italy in their right back position, to be taken by Gianluca Zambrotta. 1-1 here in Nelspruit. At the moment, this group is in the balance, like so many of them at this World Cup. Paraguay winning 2-0 against Slovakia earlier today, so they've got 4 points from 2 games. Slovakia bottom, 1 point from 2 games with a -2 goal difference. And Italy and New Zealand yet to complete their second match, of course, 1 point each so far. So it's all to play for, isn't it?
It is. I'm just glad the first games are gone, because they were boring and dull. It's livened up since then, you know. And the next game is knockout stage. Really, I know it's the third game in the group, but if the scores are very similar to have been, it'll be knockout stages in the last round of the group. If you know,
yeah, they turn into knockout games.
Yeah.
You see, the loser goes home, basically.
Yeah. That's what you're going to see. More exciting.
Camoranesi has taken up the position, a straight swap for Simone Pepe on the right hand side. Di Natale in at striker. Well, maybe just off actually. Iaquinta up front, the number 10 for Italy. New Zealand with the ball, slowing the game down a little bit, as you would expect. Their centre half, Visilic, rolls it back. Here's Ryan Nelson forward, looking for the striker Fallon of Plymouth Argyle. It's been a very physical battle between him and Cannavaro. Killen's a big guy as well up front, causing both the centre halves for Italy trouble so far in this match. Fallon has to be careful, though. He's on a yellow card, as is Tommy Smith. Throw into Italy, left-hand side, danger position. It's going to be Di Natale, the substitute, to take it. Looking for support. He'll leave it to the left-back, Crescito of Genoa. Gets the ball back. Rolls it back to Montalivo. Chance of a cross. He's got some space. It's a good cross towards Iaquinta, but headed clear by Nelson, who sprints out to the side of the area. Still got a bit of pace, hasn't he, Ryan Nelson, the New Zealand captain of Blackburn Rovers. Started his career at DC United and did very well there.
He's never had pace, Ryan Nelson.
Well, it was a decent 10 yards he put in there. Ball rolled across the penalty area to Montalivo. That's a good ball. Di Natale with a chance, batted away by Paston, the goalkeeper. He looks a lively presence already, Di Natale.
Do you know what we've seen? We've seen a manager not scared to make big decisions. Even the draw in 1-1, he's changed it. And what he's done, that's what I like about him. He's changed the formation. He's put Natale just off La Quinta, and he's got a plan B. I can't see the England manager having a plan B. It's change for change, like for like. Here, he's done something different, and that's what you're going to see when things aren't going that well for you.
Here comes Camoranesi driving down the centre of the park. He's won himself a free kick in there. It's Rory Fallon with another foul, like the Australian coach Pim Verbeek yesterday. 1-1 against Ghana, down to 10 men. He went 3 at the back and brought on 2 strikers.
Exactly, just change it. When things aren't going, change it.
Free kick then to Italy, 20 yards outside the New Zealand penalty area, level with the edge of the 6-yard box. De Rossi, terrible delivery into the box that time, Killen with an easy header away, and it's Montalivo in the centre circle, gives it back to Roma's De Rossi, who was fouled allegedly, I must stress, for that penalty in the first half, which drew Italy level at 1-1 here against the Kiwis. Smelts, the goal scorer for New Zealand, busy on the left-hand side, rolls the ball inside to the centre-half Visilic, but New Zealand lose possession. I just wonder if the occasion perhaps might start getting to them soon. The longer this goes on, they've lost possession again. Di Natale in the centre circle for to Iaquinta. Here's Camoranesi backed towards Iaquinta. It was a poor ball by Camoranesi. And now let's see if New Zealand can keep possession for a while. It's something they're going to find difficult to do.
They don't want to hit the square ball in the middle of the park, because them are the most dangerous balls. Mark Hughes and And Steve Bruce used to go absolutely berserk at me if I hit a square pass. I'm very good at the square passes and backward passes. I don't tend to go forward.
Made a career out of it.
Yeah, I know, I don't tend to go forward. But listen, it's the most dangerous pass in the book. The blind pass squared across the pitch. If it's intercepted, they're on the attack.
Visalic has gone from centre back into central midfield. Tommy Smith, who was at left back, has gone on to centre back, and he's on the ball now and concedes a corner under pressure by Yaquinta. And Italy have started to press here, as you would expect in Nelsprate. Start of the second half, drew their first game 1-1 against Paraguay. They need a win, quite simply. Slovakia to play in their final group game.
Yeah, he's done very well, but then the left back Tommy Smith, he's done exceptionally well against Zambrotta. But yeah, the Italians now are showing their dominant presence.
Corner on their right hand side, swung out right footed, headed clear by Smelts. Fallon can't complete the clearance, and it's with Di Natale. Intelligent ball out to the right hand side, but he's overhit it, looking for the run perhaps of Camoranesi out there. Di Natale gesticulating towards his teammate. He overhit the pass though, although it was a very good idea.
If New Zealand continue to fend this deep, letting Italy play to get the possession, let them come on to them, it's just a matter of time before Italy score. I've been in games similar when you just think you just get through the next 10 minutes, just get through, but you can't invite teams onto you at this level. But it's just a matter of time before Italy score if they continue to play this way.
Just further to that tactical change by Ricky Herbert, it's Tony Lockhead, who's gone back to left back, his natural position, and it's Visalic who's come into the midfield to hold, to destroy, to break up the Italians' play and possession. And it's Tommy Smith who switched inside to play alongside Ryan Nelson at centre-back. It could be a backs-to-the-wall effort for the Kiwis in this second half. We saw the Italian rugby union team at Oliver Tambo Airport this morning, didn't we? They could do with a few of those bruises on the edge of the penalty area in the second half. Some of their faces looked like they were carved out of granite, like Mount Rushmore in the United States.
The reason I'm laughing at, because one of my co-commentators...
Well, it wasn't me.
I'll tell you now, I'll tell you this, the attack, I'll tell you.
Here's Italy on the attack. It's Montalivo, foot on the ball. Square, now Camoranesi. Montalivo gets the ball back. It was a good foot in that time by Tommy Smith. And he gets the ball back again, the new centre-half from Ipswich Town. Went on loan to Brentford last season. And he just clears. It was an attempted pass, but it's gone out of play on the halfway line.
So we're sitting in the airport this morning. 9:30 flight. And my co-commentator Mike Sewell said, "You're never going to guess what? The Italians are on our flight." I said, "Pardon?" I said, "Surely not. The game's in 5 hours. It was the Italian rugby team. They were all 9'12".
He was looking at a 6'11" lock at the time. Yaquinta's tall, but not that tall. Here comes Di Natale. Was that handball by Winston Davis? The referee says play on. Di Natale, a nice little trick to try and take it past the right back for New Zealand. The ball, I thought, struck his arm, but unintentionally, says the referee. And on we go. Chance of a breakaway on the left-hand side for New Zealand. The ball in the centre circle. Here's Simon Elliott, the number 7, this schemer for the Kiwis, for the Australasians. Ball on the left-hand side now for New Zealand. The best passage of possession in the second half so far. They look quite comfortable on the ball. Elliott sprays it out to Bertos on the right-hand side. He struggles to control with his chest. The former Worksop Town man dropped it back to Winston Davis with the orange boots. The score of that last minute, 93rd minute, equaliser against Slovakia. Winston Davis and his family emigrated to Denmark when he was 11 years old. He's been recently, whilst on the verges of the Denmark side and the Denmark squad, he didn't make it for this World Cup and committed himself to New Zealand. Made his debut against Australia in May. Davis on the ball again. Rolls it to the right-hand side to Bertos. He's got Montalivo, who switched to the left-hand side behind him. Back it goes to Davis. Now back to the goalkeeper, Paston. Long clearance forward. Chiellini with the header, and now Bertos gets his foot on the ball. They look a little more confident in possession at the moment, Robbie, but they're not getting very far, but they're just trying to take some time off the clock, I suppose, although it's very early to be doing that.
What they need, Arlo, listen, I think is the best ball of the game. We're in depression, the full-back position, hit the ball into the channel, get the forward to run to it. You might get a throw, you might get a corner, but they're not doing that.
Montalivo cuts inside very skillfully, corner of the penalty area, plays the ball out to Cuscito, low cross in, Cuscito the left back, and it was good defending once again by Ryan Nelson. Winston Davis is down on the floor, and he will need some attention, it seems, with Italy having a throw-in on the left-hand side, halfway inside the New Zealand half. Now, you mentioned, Mike, there, spotting a Italian rugby union side, possibly mistakenly for the Italian football team. You, my friend, are on a yellow card. for forgetting your pass on the way to the ground. It was decided by the committee. We're halfway to the stadium. We had work to do, Robbie. Halfway to the stadium, the scream comes from the back in a Welsh accent, I've forgotten my pass. It was deemed by the committee it was unintentional. Therefore, you only got a yellow. You're free to play in the next game. Here come Italy again. Di Natale crosses to the far post. It's dangerous. And it's headed clear by Lockhead. Has he conceded a free kick out by the corner flag? Yes, he has. Foul by Lockhead on Camoranesi. So here's an opportunity for Italy to get a ball in the box. It was a shove in the back on Camoranesi, who has a dark ponytail sticking out the back of his head. Purple skies above us. 1-1 the score. Italy against New Zealand. Italy putting the pressure on here. Free kick, right hand side. Chiellini's up there. Cannavaro's in the box as well. There's some tall defenders for New Zealand. Ball chipped in, edge of the 6-yard box. Nelson was tall. Davis completes the clearance with a header, but it's dropped to the feet of Di Natale on the left hand side. Across the midfield to De Rossi. Now with Montolivo. Montolivo being put under some pressure by Fallon, who appears to be tiring a little. Montolivo, though, his pass was charged down by Fallon, who now trots forward for New Zealand. They play around on the edge of the area dangerously, but Killen is able to bring the ball away. Bertos on the right-hand side, faced by his left-back foe, Crescito. He does very well, twisting and turning is Bertos, and he wins a throw-in on the right-hand side, but he did have runners further forward, didn't he?
Yeah, you say about Rory Fallon, I think what they've done, you know, since he's made that challenge when all the Italian players, you know, trying to get him sent off for his second booking, he's not been in the game. I think he's become within himself, he's withdrawn, because he's scared to death of making the challenge, because the next one, he is off.
Elliott drops the ball back to Ryan Nelson, left foot pass to his fellow centre-half, Tommy Smith. 57 minutes gone, the World Cup on 5 Live. New Zealand 1, Italy 1. Fallon's header drops into the hands, the grateful hands of Marchetti, the goalkeeper who's replaced Buffon today. And I was reading yesterday that Buffon will require surgery on a herniated disc after the World Cup finals. He'll be missing for 4 months after, but he still hopes to play a part later on in the Italians' campaign here.
Well, at least there's one Buffon here, because you might have got a lovely Buffon on my head.
You've got the finest Buffon in the Umut Bela Stadium. In fact, you're going to the Kruger National Park. That's going to really confuse a whole generation of Lions, you turning up. Here comes Bertos for New Zealand on the right-hand side. The number 11. He's going to have a run at the full-back. Oh, he's knocked it around him and gone to the left-hand side. He looks a good player, Bertos.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Want to throw in?
I've been very impressed with him. You know, he's playing for he's playing for Wellington Phoenix in New Zealand. Listen, he could come and play in the Premier League. I don't know, Premier League, the Championship or lower, no problem. I've been very impressed. He's positive, he's direct, he gets at his full back, and he's done exceptionally well today. There's a name for scouts back home, Bertos.
And it's Bertos to take the throw in. Not a particularly long throw in, and it's a foul given once again against Rory Fallon, who just can't catch a break at the moment from the referee, can he? Who was it that went down there like the proverbial sack of spuds? It was Fallon who was challenging, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Crescito has gone to ground, clutching his forehead, and he gets straight back up again. It's a professional performance by Italy.
Yeah,
they've pretty much pointed out to the referee exactly what Fallon's doing, as you were saying a little bit earlier on. Fallon's playing within himself, but also they use the same sort of tactics, as it's a goal kick to New Zealand away to our left, to get the penalty. Yes, of course, holding on to someone's shirt is a foul, but like in the USA-Slovenia game the other day, so many crosses come into a box, you could give any one of 7 fouls. It's almost like there needs to be a directive from FIFA about the shenanigans in a penalty area when a free kick goes in, because De Rossi's bound to go down, isn't he, in that situation? Although you can argue it wasn't a foul.
Do you remember 4 years ago it was brought in the Premiership, and Blackburn, when I was playing for Blackburn, we had 3 penalties against us in the first part of the season, and then it all stopped, it all changed, so you can bring directives in. For the first 2 months they get into play, but then they just get forgotten about, and it's back to the normal thing.
Italy in possession with Camoranesi to Montolivo, halfway inside the New Zealand half. Night falling here in Nels Prate. The floodlights booming out. Here's a chance for Yaquinta. He's got to step on the defence. Yaquinta with a shot, and he spoons it wide along the ground with his left foot. Fans of South Africa, Bafana, Italians, Chileans, all on their feet behind the goal, thinking that was the moment the Azzurri were going to take the lead, but Yaquinta made a mess of it.
What's a pass from De Rossi? He's give it one of them. He's smashed the ball into Yaquinta, and he's looked the other way, like a Ronaldo would, and he's kidded on with the defence there. It's a great touch from Yaquinta, but good defending again by New Zealand. They've defended absolutely brilliantly today, and at last Fallon's got a free kick for him. Brilliant. Well done, ref.
Good for him. Substitution about to be made here for the Italians. It's Gianpaolo Pazzini who's coming in, the number 20, and it's going to be Claudio Marchisio who's going to leave us. So midfielder for midfielder. Marcello Lippi just shouting out the instructions, waving his hands, telling his side. He'll be getting nervous here, Lippi. First coach in almost 80 years to return to the Italy job. Free kick for New Zealand. This could be dangerous. The ball bobbing around in the penalty area. It's come off a New Zealand attacker, I believe, although Chiellini sprinted off to keep that ball in play, and it's now a throw-in to New Zealand on their left-hand side. Halfway inside the Italians' half of play, and New Zealand are going to make a substitution fairly soon. And someone that looks, quite literally half your age, Robbie Savage, is about to come onto the field.
It's the guy who plays for West Brom,
Chris Wood, yeah. Ball bouncing in the penalty area. Chiellini.
Oh, how old is he? 30?
I think it rained hard on your paper round, did it?
Yeah, it did, to be fair.
Throw into New Zealand left-hand side, but we are going to have the substitution made here by Ricky Herbert. Go on.
Rory Fallon's coming out, as I said. Since the first 10 minutes when he's made the second foul and the Italians are begging him to get sent off, he's played within himself, and I feel really sorry for Rory Fallon because he bars, he give Cannavaro for the first 15 minutes a torrid time, but since then they've been trying to get him sent off, and it's very Italian. Listen, the Italians are masters at it, and they've done it exceptionally well, and the only way New Zealand are going to score is from a set piece.
It is seen as in Italian football culture as professional. It's part of your job, isn't it, to do things like that, to take advantage of those situations. Wood is on the field, no shrinking violence himself, of course. Long throw in from the left-hand side. Cannavaro is tall and strong. Shot comes in and it's just wide. Visalic. Goodness me, Marchetti was diving across his goal to his right-hand side. Snapshot from all of 20-25 yards. Took it on the volley. Marchetti diving to his right. It's just past the post. What a goal that would have been.
Just the words that. What a strike. What a strike. Dear me, Visalic. What a strike.
Ricky Herbert thought that was in. The New Zealand coach on the touchline, who's reportedly only on £25,000 a year. He's taken a job. He doubles up as the Wellington Phoenix manager. They compete in the A-League in Australia. And he's doing a fine job with this New Zealand team at the World Cup. 1-1. They are level with the current world champions Italy after 63 and a half minutes.
When you say that, right, you've seen how New Zealand have fought. How on earth can Fabio Capello be on 6 million a year, in my opinion? 6 million a year. And the guy here, managing in the same tournament, is on 25,000 a year.
There are discrepancies. I mean, New Zealand don't have a professional league, do they? One professional club, the Wellington Phoenix. It's a £6 million question that you asked.
I've stolen a living for 17 years. Who am I to say?
Di Natale flicks it forward into the penalty area. Cameronese trying to get on the end of that. Good defending by New Zealand. Visalic there, who almost scored a few moments ago, but they've conceded a corner here. The longer this game goes on, the more New Zealand will sense, perhaps, that the almost impossible is possible, that they can get a point out of this game. But it's early days yet, plenty of football to be played. Corner swung in to the New Zealand penalty area. But if I say New Zealand penalty area, it almost goes all the way out to the penalty area, and in fact it has gone out for a throw-in on the far side. Not a particularly good delivery from Montalivo there.
Yeah, poor delivery, as you see. As I said before in the commentary, if you put the ball in the right area, you'll have a chance of scoring. But can I just say what a privilege and a pleasure it is to be at this World Cup, commentating on games, and I'm enthused. I love it. It's great, and I've got to say that you're one of the best commentators, two of the best commentators I've worked with.
That's very nice. You were quite a good midfielder.
Liar.
Helicopter dramatically flies from right to left on the orange sky now above us. Free kick, Cameronese, right hand side. New Zealand hanging on here, but they are strong in the air. Camoranesi swings it in, edge of the 6-yard box. Pass in the goalkeeper has come. He punches right, fisted. The ball now on the left-hand side with Di Natale. Quick ball in. It's flat. It's flicked on by Chiellini, and it's wide of the far post. But it appears to have come off a New Zealand defender, and a corner is given on the far side.
You know, they've defended like warriors today, New Zealand boys, and, you know, as a neutral, I was going to say, you want to see him hold out, but that wouldn't be neutral, would it?
Corner kick again. Swung into the penalty area. Header clear that time by Chris Wood, the substitute of West Bromwich Albion. Italy still in possession. Zambrotta has an opportunity. Twisting on the edge of the area. Low drive comes in when it needed a cross, really, with 4 or 5 attackers on the far side of the ground. And you're gesticulating towards Robbie Savage, the New Zealanders, to get out, to clear their lines.
It's a matter of time. They sit this deep. Listen, Shane Smelt is the furthest man forward, and he's 30 yards inside his own half. They've got to get out, get up the pitch.
Di Natale inside to Camoranesi. Poor return ball from Camoranesi, and New Zealand have a throw in on their right hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. Are they just perhaps starting to believe that they may get a point out of this game? I don't want to put the commentators' curse on them. They have been terrific tonight. They took the lead early on. Smelts after 7 minutes. The equaliser from Italy came after 29, a Iaquinta penalty after an incident, a controversial incident, a foul on De Rossi by Tommy Smith, for which he received a yellow card.
I've been involved in games like this when you're 1-1, you're trying to get out, but you just can't. You know, you're trying out, you're saying to your centre half, to your fullbacks, push up, but you just, you know, there's just something in the game that you cannot get out. And it's okay, mate, saying up here, you know, they've got to go forward, but sometimes you just physically can't, because, you know, they have that much possession, they're that good with it. You know, you just got to hope that they do not score, but 9 times out of 10, they usually do.
Yeah. They didn't in 2006 in Kaiserslautern when they were playing against 9 men of the USA, a 1-1 draw there, one of the most epic games of the World Cup finals in Germany. Of course, Italy went on to win the World Cup for the 4th time, to add to their titles in 34, 38, 82 and 2006. They've been runners-up twice in 1970 and 1994. And at the moment, after 67 and a half minutes, it's 1-1 against New Zealand. Camoranesi forward, Iaquinta, here's Montalivo. Is this the moment for Italy? No, but they're back in possession, Italy. They're dwelling on the ball on the edge of the area, New Zealand, and now's an opportunity to get the ball clear through Bertos. Long ball forward, Wood, the substitute, chasing away down there, puts a shoulder in, and the assistant referee has flagged for a free kick. The foul on Crescito. Wood doesn't believe it. Robbie Savage, a few more words from you, and I'll hand you till full time in this dramatic evening to Mike Sewell.
Yeah, it was a great, that's what you want to see, the ball into the corner. Chris Wood made a great run, you know, physical presence in Crescito, and he's given away a foul, but it wasn't a foul. The Italians are throwing themselves over the place, and they're giving a masterclass on how to dive, and basically they'll do things you know, in a professional sport the way it shouldn't be done, really, but they're doing it very well.
Free kick to Italy, midway inside the New Zealand half, away to our left. It's going to be Daniel. He's going to swing this one in. There are plenty of light blue shirts, half a dozen of them in there. De Rossi, low ball in, poor free kick, but he gets lucky. They've got a throw in on the far side by the corner flag.
Again, terrible free kick. Terrible free kick from De Rossi. Hit the first man again. The amount of times that's happened this World Cup, you can't count.
The ball is over on the far side with Camoranesi, who does his job and wins a corner for Italy. And he wants to take it quickly. Short ball to Zambrotta, right angle of the penalty area, swings it across, which is headed away by Bertos out to this near side, the Italian left. Di Natale, long ball in, seeking out Iaquinta, out comes Paston to claim the ball.
Well done, the goalkeeper, he's commanded the area well, he's been on his front foot, he's come for every cross, and he's done exceptionally well, the goalkeeper. You know, they've just got to hang in there, they've got to be big, they've got to be brave, they've got to win their headers, which they're doing, and you know, let's be honest, Italy haven't had a real chance this half. New Zealand defended brilliantly, just keep it going.
The stalwarts of world football, England, France, Spain, Portugal and Italy, all having problems at this World Cup. Here's Montalivo with a shot. Great save by Paston with an outstretched right palm. He pushes the ball away and denies the Azzurri.
Brilliant goalkeeper. What a save. Right hand, strong wrist, you know, to push it away into a safe area. The keeper's been tremendous today, second choice. the first choice must be playing for Real Madrid.
Well, he's not done his chances of playing in the final group game any harm. Glenn Moss, who would have been the first choice had he not been suspended, might not get a chance to play at this World Cup.
Well, you can't leave the goalkeeper out after this display. But you know what you tend to find now, what makes a good goalkeeper a great goalkeeper is the concentration levels. And he's made some great saves, and you just want to see him keep his concentration, keep making them saves, because you can see the minute you lose concentration, like Robert Green, you get punished.
Well, he broke his leg in December, did Mark Paston. But he's playing at the World Cup now, the 33-year-old. And he's kept Italy at bay so far. Can he do it for another 20 minutes or so? This would be an even greater result than the 1-1 draw against Slovakia, where New Zealand equalised in injury time. That's a wasteful free kick given away by Cannavaro for handball when he wasn't even under pressure.
Well, but let's look at all there. He has deliberately handballed it, right? You have to give him a yellow card by the letter of the law. When you get sent off, you go around the keeper, you can kick the ball miles out of play. If the keeper brings you down, it's a straight red card by the letter of the law. Although you're not going to get the ball. You should book Cannavaro there.
Free kick to New Zealand, sent high into the Italy penalty area. Reid is up there, goes down under a challenge from Chiellini. New Zealand still have it, 30 yards out, now moving towards the left. Reid is still down inside the Italy penalty area. Cross in. Viselic tries to turn and shoot, but Cannavaro's there to get the ball away, and New Zealand are stretched because they're without one of their defenders. Down the right goes Zambrotta, edge of the area, sends the ball in, laid off here, Pazzini towards Montolivo, he can't shoot, now it's Di Natale who drives it across the face of goal, and this time goalkeeper Paston has to rely on his captain Ryan Nelson to clear the ball away, and the New Zealand bench are furious because they want the game to stop and some treatment to be given to Winston Reid.
Yeah, they should have stopped. Listen, sometimes the Italians are a fantastic football team, but they have been so bad sportsmen today. It's untrue. They've been throwing themselves to the ground. They've been gesticulating, yellow cards in the air. And when the New Zealand guy gets elbowed there, they're saying get up. But when their player gets elbowed, they're sprinting round the referee. I think they've been so many bad. The Italians have been, for me, disgraceful today on that side of the game, but they're the best at it.
Reid looked to have got a forearm in the face there from Chiellini. He's up on his feet and he's trotting out to the edge of the field. And what amazes me about this rule is that now New Zealand are down to 10 men, theoretically, because Reid has got to run all the way to the halfway line before he can come on, and there's a throw deep inside his own half.
Ridiculous. Listen, some of the rules we've got in this day in Melbourne football are ridiculous.
And that is handball by Di Natale, which the referee misses. It's played back though towards Cannavaro. Reid is on, but he's out of position. Italy have possession. 17 minutes to play. 1-1 the scoreline in Nelsprate on 5 Live Sport from the BBC. Here's Montolivo. Equinta, who scored the penalty for Italy to equalise after Smeltz gave New Zealand an early lead, but the move breaks down and it's back with Cannavaro again. And can New Zealand keep Italy at bay for another 16 and a half minutes?
No, I don't think they can. They just keep smashing the ball up front, and there's nobody there. They're so deep. Come on, just get out a bit. Just try and get a bit of composure in the game.
Well, Smeltz has the ball on the left, but he didn't have anybody ahead of him, and he's done the best he can to win a throw-in.
It's a very hard job, this, being a sunriser, because if I was sitting at home now, I'd be saying, come on New Zealand, come on, but you can't, you've got to be neutral and impartial, and it's watching this game today and watching New Zealand defend like Trojans, get a goal and then get a penalty again, so you just want them to hold on. So I'm sorry for listeners if I'm a bit impartial, but that's what you want to see as a neutral, do you know what I mean?
I don't think you'll be the only person wanting the underdog to hold out here. Here's Wood. Ball played away by Italy though. De Rossi, the one thing Italy are good at is breaking away quickly, but they don't retain possession, and New Zealand have it back now. On the left, sent in towards the edge of the penalty area, towards Chris Killen. It's away though by Italy. Up to Montolivo on the halfway line. Checks and plays the ball to Camoranesi, who's switched flanks to this near side, the Italy left. To come on 5 Live tonight, Ivory Coast against Brazil. from Johannesburg, full commentary. The attendance today is 38,229, which is almost full capacity. I think that's the closest we've come in any of the games I've done at this World Cup. That ball's gone out of play off the boot of Shane Smeltz. It's a throw into Italy, taken quickly by Zambrotta. Into Iaquinta. Camoranesi flicks the ball into the box. Reed gets the ball away, first chesting it down and then lofting it downfield towards Cannavaro. Just to remind you that a major breaking story at the World Cup this afternoon, the French team have refused to train in their camp this afternoon after reports that news about the dispute between Nicolas Anelka and Raymond Domenech was being leaked by someone in the coaching squad, and as a result the players refusing to train for Raymond Domenech. Italy have a free kick midway inside the New Zealand half, which Montolivo, as he's literally snatched the ball off Iaquinta and he wants to take this, but Iaquinta's not moving away. It's a long way out, Robbie Savage.
Listen, it's all of 35 yards, and with this ball, the way it's moved today, you know, if you get a good clean strike on it, what they tend to do now, these top players, they put the ball in the valve.
Montolivo trying to tee up Iaquinta. He then lays it off. De Rossi. Oh dear. What a messy free kick. Eventually it comes out to this near side to Crescito. Di Natale, left-hand angle of the penalty area, back towards Montolivo once more. Flicks the ball in, deep to the far post. It's an easy one for the goalkeeper.
Well done, goalie, well done. Commanding in his area. 13 minutes left. What a story this would be. This would be the story of the World Cup for me. This would be the story of, you know, many World Cups. What a performance this is from New Zealand.
This would definitely be bigger than Switzerland beating Spain earlier in the tournament. New Zealand are ranked 78th in the world. They're the third lowest ranked in this tournament, and they're playing the world champions. They're holding the world champions at 1-1 in Nelspruit. Here's De Rossi, who won the penalty which Iaquinta converted. Out wide to the right. Italy moving forward. Zambrotta once more. Down the line to Camoranesi. Camoranesi with the ponytail. Back to Zambrotta once more. Laid into the edge of the area. Camoranesi again picks it up. This time he's in the middle of the field. Just outside the box. Chips it in. Iaquinta's in here. But great defending by Tommy Smith. Although he was beaten for the ball over the top, he recovered well.
Well done, Tommy Smith. You've been sensational today, son. You know, if this town, they should be playing left back every week. They'd be brilliant today. You know, as have all the back four in New Zealand. You know, but what they're doing, Mike, they're too deep. The goal's coming. You can sense it. It's just get out, try and get out up the pitch for 5 minutes.
Camoranesi's corner to the penalty spot, headed in by Iaquinta, and then off Winston Reid and out for a corner.
Again, you know, good delivery. You know, he's peeled away just about the penalty area. He's leaped well. It's great defending again. They're throwing the head in front of everything.
Another corner, this time from the near side, the Italy left. Montolivo takes it short. There's lots of space for Crescito. He's on the edge of the area. Back out wide. Montolivo flicks it in. It's a poor ball in, but it's picked up by Camoranesi, who shoots, but no power. It's a goal kick to New Zealand.
You've got to picture the scene there at home. They've had a corner. Every one of New Zealand players is in their own box, level with the penalty area. The ball's got played out 30 yards, and they're all still level with the penalty area. They just got nobody within 30 yards of the halfway line. They keep doing it, they're going to get caught, but just keep defending. Come on.
The national anthem of New Zealand is God Defend New Zealand. Well, defend is the key word in this match, because that's what they're having to do now as Di Natale picks the ball up. Good work, 25 yards out, shoots, but no real venom in the shot, and it trickles wide of Mark Paston's goal. We've got just over 10 minutes to go. It's still New Zealand 1, Italy 1.
Yeah, the Italians have been very poor today. I've been not impressed at all with them. They're missing a Totti, they're missing a Mancini, they're missing a Baggio. That player who can just get the ball in this situation, go past one or two players. You know, in this World Cup, I've not seen really anybody except for the Messi. Even Ronaldo hasn't done it this tournament, to go past players like a Maradona. And the Italians have always been famous for a little playmaker, somebody with a bit of industry, and for me, they haven't got one.
A substitution to be made by Ricky Herbert, the New Zealand coach. Off goes Ivan Viselic, who shakes the hand of the referee, en route to being replaced here by Jeremy Christie, 27-year-old midfielder who plays his football in the USA for FC Tampa Bay, not even in the MLS.
I can't understand why he shut the referee's hand there, because listen, it's all about good sportsmanship, but you know, he's cost him a penalty, the referee there. I think he's been very poor, the ref. Listen, fair play to the guy for shaking his hand, and to be fair, after the game you should shake the referee's hand, but you know, I think he's cost him, the ref.
That's a long ball forward by Chiellini, seeking out a player on the far side of the field, but it's gone out of play for a throw-in to New Zealand. And right behind us, in one of the commentary booths, as Radio Sport of New Zealand. They'll be getting excited, won't they?
Well, I hope so. They can't get excited about this. What I mean, let's be honest with the All Blacks, win everything.
Well, a country renowned for their rugby union are holding one of the best football teams in the world. Ryan Nelson, Robbie Savage's former teammate, puts the ball out for an Italy corner. 9 minutes to go. We saw the Italians break Australia's heart in 2006. Can they do it to New Zealand? It's 1-1. Corner. Montolivo to the back post. Headed in towards goal by Chiellini. But it's wide.
He's given a foul. He's given a push at the back post. You know what the New Zealanders are? They're big, they're strong, and they're powerful. And you know what? There's nothing more you can say, but they defend, except they've had one shot this half. But listen, Italy haven't had a clear-cut chance. They haven't been 1-on-1. They haven't got behind them. They've done basically nothing. The change made the change. They haven't been in the game. It's been very poor from the Italians. And to be fair, if the Italians go through in this group, you'd want to play them.
Well, at the moment, they're in second place behind Paraguay, who lead the group as the score stands, with New Zealand on the same number of points as Italy. They have possession inside the Italy half now on the edge of the area. Good work by Chris Wood. He's in. Left shot. Oh, it's just wide. 18-year-old Chris Wood hits the ball wide of the post and almost causes an even greater shock.
Well, great control. He's flicked the ball over Cannavaro's head. He can go back to West Brom and say, I flicked the ball over Cannavaro's head. It's come down. He's hit it across the keeper, which all good forwards do. It's agonisingly wide. What a game.
The only difference between that little flick and Paul Gascoigne's was that he wasn't on the move at the time. But it was equally effective. He just couldn't finish it.
Don't get carried away, Mike.
Ball played down the line by Chiellini. Is it going to be kept in play on this near side by Pazzini? It is. Pazzini then looks up, plays it across. De Rossi 30 yards out, chips the ball in. It's over the head of Camoranesi and is cleared by Simon Elliott up towards the halfway line where Wood is waiting. Good layoff. Down the left runs Smelts, who scored the goal in the first half. Checks in on his right foot just outside the penalty area. Italy 1, New Zealand 1. 7 minutes to go. Cross sent in. It's a great ball in. I was just over the head of Chris Killen and out for a throw-in.
What's happening now? Italy want the win. They're pushing forward. That's leaving gaps. You know, they're leaving 1-on-1 at the back. Listen, in a natural world, Cannavaro should be able to handle Shane Smells 1-on-1, but they're getting runners and they're breaking very well. And you know, the game's stretched, it's open, and I think we're going to get a winner. And who's it going to be?
Well, who would you put your money on? The Italians have the experience, but New Zealand are fending them off, and they've got possession again. Lovely touch down the line. That's a late challenge by Zambrotta, which the referee just ignores.
Shocking ref.
And awards a throw-in to Italy.
That's a yellow card and a free kick for New Zealand. The refs completely missed that.
Chris Wood's shot was no more than a foot wide of the post a few moments ago. Good play by Crescito. He's won a corner off the boot of Bertos. 5.5 minutes to go. It's all square at 1-1.
Yeah, just keep defending, keep doing the principles of football. The Italians are sprinting out to take the corner. You know, they know this will be a horrendous result for them. They have to, well, you know, if they draw this, they won't win the group, I don't think.
Which means they might play the Netherlands in the last 16. Corner kick for Italy. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Di Natale plays it in, flicked away by Reed to the edge of the area. 25-yard volley by Montolivo is poor. Sent back in though by Zambrotta and away by Nelson.
Well done, Ryan.
For another throw on this near side.
He's been a tower of strength at the back, Big Nelson.
Here's Di Natale on the left. He's got an overlap from Crescito. Di Natale's cross. Paston's there. And he plucks the ball out of the air to the delight of a small pocket of all Whites fans on the far side of the field. Now they're waving white bits of cotton and T-shirts above their heads as Ryan Nelson goes down on the edge of the area.
Hamstring.
But it's not in surrender.
Hamstring.
It's pure delight. I think Ryan Nelson might be in trouble here.
The big fella, when I was at Blackburn, he had, this sums Ryan Nelson up, right? When I was at Blackburn with him, he actually played with his hamstring torn off his bottom muscle. It was, your hamstring's attached to your bottom, and it was torn off. It was torn off. He played with it for 6 months, didn't realise he had it until he felt a bit of pain. Went for a scan, and it showed his hamstring was not attached to his bottom. So basically, he went to Sweden, had it stitched and sewn back onto his bum, and played on. And now he played on. Seriously. So that proves how strong and how big and brave that guy is. And if that is his hamstring, you can see he's always hamstring there. He's had loads and loads of problems with it. It looks like he's booking him. Remember, he's booking him. What's he doing?
Why is he booked, Ryan Nelson?
What's he doing?
He didn't get on the stretcher.
Oh,
you are kidding me. That cannot be the reason for being booked.
That's ridiculous. What's the referee playing at? He's booked him for walking off.
Well, Nelson is hobbling off more than walking off towards the halfway line.
He might have booked him for time wasting. I can't see that.
Ricky Herbert has got one more substitution left, but Nelson wants to come back on. The fourth official says come off first. I want you to the halfway line before you can come on the field.
Guatemalan referees.
They're not all your favourite referees, are they?
Referees aren't in general.
3 minutes to play plus stoppage time. Italy 1, New Zealand 1 in Nelspray. Here's Montalivo. Square ball on the halfway line to Chiellini. Nelson's moved back into the central position at the back for New Zealand. Long ball. Di Natale onside, brings it down. Can't keep possession, and it's smashed, hoofed away. Hoofed downfield by Bertos.
He's come back on, Big Ryan. Listen, I know Ryan Nelson. He'll get through. He'll get through this. No matter if his hamstring is hanging off, he'll get through it.
Made his debut for his country 11 years ago yesterday. Here is Camoranesi, midway inside the New Zealand half. Good work there by one of the New Zealand substitutes. 30-yard shot from Camoranesi, which is pushed away by Paston for a corner.
Great save again. These players should be knighted back in New Zealand. Come on.
An excitable Robbie Savage on 5 Live as Italy have a corner. Camoranesi to the edge of the 6-yard area. Quinta's there, but his glancing head has gone out for a goal kick.
This is brilliant. Listen, I'm sorry if I'm a bit enthusiastic on the radio, but listen, this is me. This is what you get. You see what you get. I don't care about New Zealand to hold on. I do. Come on, New Zealand. There's a minute left.
That was a great save by Paston. That was going into the far corner, and he got away to his left and just pushed it away for a corner kick. 1.5 minutes left, plus some minutes of stoppage time. I don't know how many, but Italy could be held here by New Zealand, the world champions, the defending champions. They'll only have 2 points after 2 games if they don't score now. Ball in to Camoranesi. His control lets him down. It's a goal kick again.
Yeah. The Italians have run out of ideas. They look forlorn. They're looking round. The coach is looking round. You got the New Zealand guy on the bench. His fists are up. He's encouraging. There's 45 seconds left plus added time.
Goal kick. Paston takes it. He's been the hero of the day, I think. You'd have to give him probably the man of the match.
They've all been heroes. But
if you're going to pick one man out,
I'd pick them all.
I just said one.
Well, pick them all. They've all been heroes.
Cleared away by Bertos. Chiellini runs across to get the ball. He's going to have to throw it in from the touchline.
Hope we don't see Sir Alex Ferguson time now.
Ball is with Montalivo inside his own half. We're waiting to see how many minutes of stoppage time are going to be added, because we've only got 10 seconds of normal time left. De Rossi over the top. Here's a chance. Zambrotta into the area, brings it down. Ryan Nelson gets in the way and blocks the shot from Zambrotta.
Brilliant, Ryan. Great defending. 4 minutes
of added time to be played. It's 1-1 here. Italy have another throw in. Cannavaro wants a reserve ball to be thrown at him. Those New Zealand fans in that corner on the far side are delirious at the moment. Many of them have stripped off and are waving their shirts in the air. The Azzurri need a goal. There doesn't seem a great deal of urgency here. Montalivo switches play from right to left. Crescito picks it up, the left back, inside the New Zealand half. He just keeps that ball in play. Di Natale, one of the substitutes, to Chiellini. We've seen players do it before in a light blue shirt. Here's De Rossi to the back post. Paston's there again.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Make a sub. The New Zealand manager, waste time, make a sub. Come on.
He's about to. He's going to bring on his final substitute. And that man is going to be Andy Barron. He's a semi-professional who works in a bank. He's about to come on in injury time.
No, I'm not like this. Listen, what a story that would be. What a story. He works in a bank.
It's Chiellini.
He's got plenty of money.
Chiellini in square to Montalivo. Italy can't get out of their own half here. 2.5 minutes of added time remaining. They're being held 1-1 by New Zealand. Camoranesi, the world champions, are going to have to win their final game. Here's Crescito to the back edge. It's a poor cross. Yakinta's furious. It's a goal kick.
Oh, mate, this is what the World Cup is all about. Listen, there's a thing to say. Drop it to 16 teams, you know. Should New Zealand be teams, Honduras, you know. But listen, this is what the underdog at the World Cup, and this for me would be one of the most remarkable results in World Cup history. You've got somebody who works in a bank coming on against Cannavaro.
Here he comes, Andy Barron, 29 years of age, plays for Team Wellington. He's going to replace Middlesbrough's Chris Killen, who's in no hurry to come off. With 1.5 minutes to go, number 13, Andy Barron, comes onto the field of play to assist his teammates in trying to stave off Italy from getting a winning goal.
I bet you Cannavaro could fill the bank he works in with his own money, and he's playing against him.
Good ball down the left by Wood. Barron can't reach it, but there's nobody in the penalty area. New Zealand are going to defend for their lives in the final minute of this game. Marcello Lippi looks on. He made 2 substitutions at half-time. He brought on Di Natale and Camoranesi, but it hasn't proved fruitful. Flicked on by Pazzini, away by Winston Reid. He was the man who got the late equaliser against Slovakia. Pazzini lofts it forward. Di Natale waits. Reid heads it away. Wood is there. He fends off one challenge and then fouled. It's a free kick to New Zealand, and that might be the last chance that Italy have.
This great scenes here. All the New Zealand fans have their shirts off. They're waving above their head. You know, it's been an incredible story. They've been undone by a penalty at the equaliser. Italy have not threatened at all. New Zealand have been absolute heroes.
The ball cleared away by Zambrotta into touch. 20 seconds left on the clock. 1-1 the score. Ricky Herbert, the New Zealand manager, looks rather composed on the bench. I wonder what's going around his head at the moment.
He could be Prime Minister in 4 weeks.
Thrown in by New Zealand. They're going to try and retain possession here. They've conceded a throw. Play continues. We're now into the 5th minute of added time. Referee Carlos Batros looks at his watch. The throw-in is going to be taken quickly by Italy. Flicked forward by Chiellini. That was a dive. That's going to be a throw-in to New Zealand. And there surely is no more time remaining for the Italians to get a winning goal.
He's going to blow up. He's going to, when the throw's taken, he's going to blow his whistle.
Thrown in. Carlos Batros blows his whistle. It's a huge delight on the New Zealand bench. It's as if they've won the World Cup in South Africa. They've held the world champions. They took the lead. Italy responded, but they've held out. to get a historic draw. It's finished. Italy 1, New Zealand 1.
We've got topless women in the stadium with their tops off. It's unbelievable. My voice is gone. What an absolute unbelievable display from New Zealand. Listen, give them full credit. The Italians have thrown themselves to the ground. They've gesticulated. Unbelievable. Fantastic. 1-1.
Well. What a result. Radio Sport New Zealand are in tears behind us. They can't quite believe this. I tell you what, let's have a quick comment from Radio Sport New Zealand. Tell us who you are and tell us how you feel.
I'm Steve Townley from Radio Sport New Zealand. This is the most amazing day of my life. We've come all this way. Getting a draw against Slovakia was like a dream come true. Getting anything out of this game, anything, even a goal would have done it for me. But to get a draw with these boys, am I going to get like a throw?
Wellington and Christchurch, how will they be feeling?
Oh, mate, the whole place will be going off. I know it's early hours of the morning over there. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, but the whole place is going off. This is bigger than anything ever in New Zealand.
Listen, mate, where are you going for a pint? We're coming with you.
Come on then, Robbie, let's get out there.
Thank you, Steve. Cheers. Radio Sport New Zealand, as happy as the team on the field of play, who are applauding their fans here in Nelspruit. They've recorded an historic draw against Italy, and it means that Paraguay lead the group on 4 points. Italy and New Zealand have 2. Slovakia have 1. Italy, going into their last game against Slovakia, may well have to win, Robbie Savage.
Yeah, listen, Paraguay now fitness, and we could see it. The Netherlands versus
Italy in the last 16.
Oh, what a game that will be. Listen, what can you say? I knew they could. Well, I'd be fair, I didn't give them a prayer before the game. You know, I've been in a team which beat Italy 2-1, so it can be done. But on the world stage, unbelievable. Well done, New Zealand.
I think this is the result of the tournament so far. It's finished 1-1 here, Mark Chapman.
I would agree with you, Mike. Honestly, ranked 78 in the world, they don't have a professional league, and they have just drawn with the world champions. Are you all right, Robbie?
Mate, Chappers, listen, I don't care if I'm impartial, mate. Listen, I've had the underdog role all my life, and this has been absolutely wonderful. Chapman, how good am I at commentary?
Strangely enough, it's not all about you on this game. Hey, and let's be honest, New Zealand had a couple of chances to get a second goal in that second half.
Well, the guy Chris Wood, come on, he's hit a flashing shot just wide, Chappers. Listen, have you watched the game?
Yes, I have watched it. I've had it on the screens myself and Guillaume Balaguer here. We've watched it all. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant, Chappers. The atmosphere's... The place is absolutely beautiful. It's 26 degrees. We've got scenes now of women in bras with their tops off. It's brilliant.
and Mike's alongside you. I don't know whether you're getting the same pictures as we are, but the Italians looked distraught. Not only the Italian fans, but Riccardo Montolivo left the pitch as if he was in shock.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. I must admit, when Marcello Lippi brought on Di Natale and Camoranesi, you'd expect their experience and Lippi's experience would eventually tell. But they've been warriors, New Zealand, and no more than their goalkeeper Mark Paston and Ryan Nelson, Robbie's former teammate at Blackburn. He's limping around at the moment. I'm not sure he'll be able to play in that final game with a hamstring injury.